Okay, here we go. Hi, my name is Dmitro. I'm a game developer from Ukraine, and I'm working on an adventure game. I always call it the doggo adventure because okay, obviously the main protagonist is a dog. Also, I'm sorry for not looking into the camera because the only web camera I do have for now is on my laptop and it's sideways. Okay, so this series of videos is a kind of development log or devlog. It's about my game and it's about my road to releasing a demo in 80 days. So in 80 days there will be a bunch of gaming events like Games Gathering Conference in Kiev, and they also have the Indie Blast award, and there were some teasers about Indie Cup, its Ukrainian part in here. So while it doesn't matter if there are any events at all, it's always a good thing to have something more than just a written deadline, and I hate the word deadline from my previous 20 years in marketing and graphic design. Yeah, so it brings me to tell some something about myself. Yeah, I'm 38 years old. I'm a former graphic designer. I've been working as a graphic designer for nearly 2 decades. I've been working as a graphic designer, as an art director, as creative director, as a managing partner of a couple of studios in other marketing and design related companies. I worked in publishing, in magazines, in branding, and a bunch of other stuff. And it's not that I stopped liking graphic design. I just thought that maybe 20 years of working in one field is quite enough. So here I am developing my own game. To be honest, it's not actually my first experience. I had participated in creation of a game. It's called Pros VR. It was released in 2019, as far as I remember, but I wasn't the part of the team in time of the release. But I was one of the co-founders of the company and a screenwriter and a game designer. Yeah, but it didn't quite work out. Okay, more. I have this little written script in my notes. Here's another thing I have to turn off. Sorry. Uh, okay. So let me show you a little bit of my game, of its current state. I'll tell you a little bit more about it, and then I will actually fulfill the main goal of this devlog is the goal of the devlog is telling people about the progress for a certain period of time. In my case, it's a week. So every week I want to compile a video about how much have I done in 5 or 7 days, whatever is a week for different folks. So here's I won't be using a full screen because I have quite a makeshift streaming recording setup for now. I never streamed anything in my life and never recorded video like this, so like be gentle. Okay, here's the main menu of the game. I will tell you a little bit more about it in a couple of minutes because this was actually the main mm, goal and the main task for the previous week. So let's just hit play, and I will tell you a little bit about my game. So the idea of the game is a dog. You can see that it feels and looks quite lonely. Yeah, so our hero, the dog named Hyde, he's a Labrador Retriever, obviously. So he wakes up in his room, in his home, and he realizes that his human is gone, and everything is something feels wrong because he every dog owner, every human, obviously comes and goes for every day, but something is just wrong. Let's explore it. Yeah, so here's Derek's, our human's shoe, and somehow the other one is not just not here. So here's a bunch of some trash bags and boxes, and dog obviously has something to say about it. Yeah, so it's not very smart. Every dog owner knows that it's not a very smart thing to leave the trash anywhere near the dog. So that it's like an homage to Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 series, where there are a lot of doors that are closed from the other side. So here it is. Here's a cat. And try to catch the cat. It runs away. Okay, so here's the beginning of the game, and the demo will be the first chapter of its game. It's called Sniff Around and Find Out. It would be set in the house. Then you will have to get out of the house and find your way around the village. Yeah, the main task and goal of the game is to find out where the human is gone and finding him. So I'll be telling you a little bit more about the how game looks and things that you can do there, and show a little bit more footage. But for the start, uh, it's not what I intended this devlog to do. So let's start with the main menu. Here how it looks, and for those of you who maybe never thought about it or didn't care, or maybe you do know about it, that menus like this, these are pretty much a separate levels of your game set in front of a static camera, yeah, overlaid with UI elements like buttons and drop-down menus and nested menus and whatever it is. So here is how this main menu looks when you are not looking through the camera, and this is how a lot of I can tell every single one of menus, but if we're talking about the dynamic menus where things happen and they look a lot like the actual game, or sometimes it is the actual game, just a separate level, or sometimes it's procedurally generated level, like in XCOM series, when whatever you see in the menu is somehow related to what is your current status in the game. It's okay. Then again, I've been telling you about the UI, and it's a bunch of buttons. Yeah, you can hit play and it will play. You can hit quit, and in this case it just quits to back to Unreal from Unreal Engine from the play in editor mode. Here are a bunch of settings, and not every menu is populated because I still um, have my doubts about which options to include into the game in general, and which of them should be included, uh, must be included in the demo to make players comfortable. From the different side of this, I'm working on this game on my own, and obviously a solo developer, especially solo developer who wants to ship the game in some foreseeable future, like in a year and a half, or something like that. I just can't do everything, so it's like every day I make the decision for, okay, 100 time whether I should do this at all, because obviously um, now when there is so much learning material, communities, tutorials, and whatever, you can basically do anything you want. The other side of this is just time. Yeah, it is. You can do whatever you want, but it will take time, and your game will be released never. Okay, so okay, for those who are interested, this devlog is not really targeted at anyone. Yeah, and it's not game developers because most of the game developers are way more skilled than I am. Yes, they don't need this, and a lot of gamers are not really interested in how games are made or what is said behind the scenes. So I'm aiming at someone in between those big categories who are not interested yet, but hopefully I will find those folks who are interested to a certain degree. Yeah, so here is here is how the game looks like, and let's see inside of it about something about how it works. So all of the UI elements, there are a lot of different ways to go about UI, the menus, and everything, and I went with actually the simplest one. I went with simple text buttons, and I will tell you a little bit more later. I went with simple layout of the menu. So here goes. Here's the user interface editing suite in Unreal Engine. Here are the container, here are your buttons, and there is to view. Here's the part of the tool that called a designer. You can place everything and it in places where it will actually be on the screen. Yeah, and here is a graph editor where let's call it the backend of each button, of each screen, each widget, and here goes. So here's the play button, and there are a bunch of events here. So obviously the main thing here is what happens when you click on the play button, and it just loads the next level, which goes called Tailgate Chapter 1. And here are a bunch of other nodes. And this basically are button hovers. I call them cosmetics. Yeah, this is how buttons behave and look. So a little thing that I went with is if we look at how buttons work, they just look like they are changing a little bit. Some width of characters, of letters change, and as a tool to mark the hover event, when we are putting the mouse cursor over the button, there are some brackets. Or I don't know if this is called brackets or something else, because the square ones are obviously brackets, and I reckon that these ones, these fancy ones, are called some with some different name, whatever. Yeah, and what this setting usually do is telling the engine, the browser, if we're talking about the website design, and what to do when the user or a gamer or a player hovers over the button. So we can exchange this for different picture. If buttons are graphic, yeah, we can change it to a different opacity or color or whatever. I went a little bit different way, so I went with simple solution. It's simple in its design. It's a little bit complex when you're actually doing it because you have to make and track a lot of these variables where one text is substituted by a different text when you hover it. Yeah, but here's where if we use some simple font or typeface for this, like the Roboto or anything you can choose from available fonts out there, it might be a little boring because just the bracket just appear and they just go away. But this is actually not the case with this typeface, and this is the one called Coupa. I developed it myself maybe 10 years ago or something like this, and it's a unicase. Unicase is a font which where both cases, the uppercase and the lowercase, are actually of the same height. Yeah, but they may use different proportions, and this is actually the case with this one because the capital letters, the uppercase, they're just wider and more bulky. Yeah, and I thought that this effect might be cool. So when we hover over this, yeah, and we press a bunch of um, times on each button, yeah, the width of some letters change, yeah, and when we press down the mouse button, they change back in maybe a little bit different way. From one thing, I have to really be careful with copy pasting because like the width of the letter might change. On the other hand, as I found out, it's not really a problem even if I have a typo. I mean, use a different case for the letter. It looks pretty cool, and from art direction point of view, it makes sense for this game. Yeah, it doesn't have to be very neat or perfect. Yeah, it's a game about a dog. It's an adventure, so it allows for some stupid little thingies. Yeah, another thing I've managed to do this week is like take a scratch on the surface, make a scratch on the surface of other important options and settings, and currently it's graphics. So now the graphics are available to change from the main menu, and I will later add them to the pause menu, I guess. Um, the the problem for now, it's not yet a problem, but it will be that I used the Unreal Engine's default scalability settings, and here they are. There is low, medium, high, epic, and cinematic. And the problem is they are not really balanced. Yeah, so sometimes when we choose high, it feels perfectly okay with medium quality shadows and maybe medium quality textures. Yeah, but leaving the high quality lighting on. So now I'm working on if it's possible to make custom presets. So to make it more, the problem with the low preset is that there is not even a character mesh available on this preset, which I am sure is fixable and manageable, but still. Okay. But anyway, this bunch of options is now done, and as you may saw, previously, there is also a pause menu, the menu that comes out when you press escape while you're playing, and it's not yet populated. Only a couple of buttons are binding there, so you can go back to the game or you can quit to the main menu. Um, Let me check